The ballroom of the Grand Horizon Hotel shimmered under crystal chandeliers, but Ruby Thompson stood in the corner, her simple black dress blending into the shadows of the waitstaff. She had chosen it deliberately, a quiet rebellion against the opulence she owned, but tonight, it backfired spectacularly. A pompous guest, Ty Askew from Too Much Champagne, thrust an empty glass at her with a sneer, barking, "Refill this and make it quick. Don't just stand there gawking like an idiot." Ruby's heart pounded, a mix of fury and amusement bubbling inside her. How ironic, she thought, that in the empire she built from scratch, people saw only what they expected, a woman who looked too ordinary to command power. She took the glass without a word, her mind racing back to the years of scraping by, the late nights coding reservation software in a dingy apartment, turning a rundown motel into this five-star behemoth. But Eva's voice echoed in her head, warning her about these games. "Ruby, why hide? You're inviting trouble." Trouble indeed, as the guest's wife joined in, whispering loudly, "Some people just don't belong here." As Ruby moved toward the bar, her thoughts spiraled into the deeper wounds. Growing up in conservative suburban Ohio, her family had drilled into her that success meant fitting in, marrying a nice man, popping out kids, not daring to love another woman. Coming out at 20 had been her first real act of defiance, but it cost her everything. Her parents' cold silence, her siblings' judgmental stares. She built the hotel chain as armor, a fortress where she could be herself behind closed doors. Yet here she was, playing pretend, testing the world's prejudices like a masochist. She handed the glass to the actual bartender, murmuring instructions, but her eyes scanned the room for Eva. There she was across the floor, elegant in a tailored suit that hugged her frame just right, chatting with investors. Eva Martinez, the brilliant architect who had redesigned half of Ruby's properties, and the woman who had stolen her heart 2 years ago. Their relationship was a secret, buried under layers of professional decorum, because Eva's family was even more rigid. Catholic roots from Texas, where being gay was whispered about like a curse. "We have to be careful," Eva had said last night, her fingers tracing Ruby's arm in the dim light of their penthouse suite. "One slip and it all crumbles." But Ruby was tired of careful. That's why she dressed down tonight, to see if anyone would recognize the face from the Forbes list. No one did. Another guest waved her over, demanding, "Clean up this spill, girl. What are they paying you for?" The word girl stung, reducing her to nothing. Inside, Ruby's inner monologue raged. "Why do I let this happen? Is it to prove I'm still human? Or to punish myself for not being normal?" She knelt to wipe the floor, feeling eyes on her, judgments forming like storm clouds. Eva noticed then, her face paling as she excused herself from the conversation. She hurried over, whispering fiercely, "Ruby, what the hell are you doing? Get up." But it was too late. The pompous guest returned, seeing the scene, and laughed. "Look at her on her knees like she belongs there. Pathetic." Ruby stood slowly, her voice steady but laced with steel. "Actually, sir, I own this place. Every chandelier, every napkin. And you're no longer welcome." The room didn't freeze like in movies. Instead, a ripple of confusion spread. Whispers turned to gasps as phones came out, quick searches confirming her identity. The guest's face drained of color, stammering apologies, but Ruby waved him off, her heart hammering. This was the shock she craved, the revelation that shattered illusions. But as security escorted him out, she caught Eva's eye, disapproval mixed with fear. "What have I done?" Ruby wondered. "Have I just exposed us both?" The gala continued, but the air thickened with tension. Guests approached Ruby now, fawning over her clever disguise. But she saw the underlying disdain. How dare a lesbian like her wield such power? Rumors had circulated before, tabloid snippets about her lifestyle. But she ignored them. Tonight, though, it felt personal. Eva pulled her aside into a quiet alcove. "That was reckless, Ruby. You could have just enjoyed the night. Now everyone's talking." "I needed to feel something real," Ruby admitted, her voice cracking. "Hiding who I am. It's killing me. And us." Eva's eyes softened, but she glanced around nervously. "My parents are flying in tomorrow. If they hear about this stunt, they'll connect the dots about us. You know what that means, disownment, the whole drama." Ruby felt a pang of guilt. Eva's family was her anchor, flawed as it was. Sacrificing that for love? It was a choice Ruby had already made, but forcing it on Eva felt wrong. As the night wore on, Ruby's mind churned with decisions. Should she come out publicly, own her truth? Or keep the facade for Eva's sake? A board member approached, congratulating her on the prank, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. Just be careful, Miss Thompson. Investors get skittish about personal matters. The veiled threat hung heavy. Ruby nodded, but inside rebellion stirred. She had built this without their approval. She could rebuild if needed. By midnight, the party thinned and Ruby found herself alone on the balcony, staring at the city lights. Eva joined her, slipping an arm around her waist, a rare public gesture. I love you, Eva whispered. But this world isn't ready for us. Ruby turned, searching her face. Then we'll make it ready. Or die trying. But even as she said it, doubt crept in. What price would they pay? The next morning brought the fallout. Tabloids screamed headlines. Hotel mogul's humiliating hoax, or cry for attention? Ruby's phone buzzed with messages from her estranged family. Her mother. Is this what you've become? Embarrassing us all. The words cut deep, reopening old scars. She had thought success would heal them, but it only amplified the divide. Eva was pacing their suite when Ruby entered. My brother called. He saw the articles, asked if I'm involved with you. I denied it, Ruby. I had to. The betrayal stung like a slap. Ruby's inner thoughts screamed. How can she love me and lie so easily? But she understood, the fear of losing everything. We need to talk, Ruby said, her voice steady despite the storm inside. About us, about going public. Eva froze. Public? Are you insane? My career, my family, they'd crucify me. The argument escalated, voices rising in the luxurious room that suddenly felt claustrophobic. Ruby pushed. Hiding is cowardice. We deserve better. Eva countered. It's survival. You grew up with less to lose. The words hung, a chasm between them. As they hashed it out, Ruby reflected on her journey. From the girl who kissed her best friend in high school and got shunned, to the woman who turned pain into profit. But love complicated it all. Was Eva worth the secrecy? Or was freedom worth losing her? The tension from the gala lingered like a bad hangover, infiltrating every corner of Ruby's life. She sat in her corner office overlooking Manhattan, scrolling through emails from concerned shareholders. One particularly blunt. Your personal antics could tank our stock. Keep it professional. Professional, she scoffed inwardly. As if her identity was a hobby she could shelve. Eva had left early that morning for a site visit, their argument unresolved. I need space, she had said, her eyes avoiding Ruby's. Space code for doubt. Ruby's mind replayed the denial to her brother. No, we're just colleagues. It hurt more than any business setback. How long could they dance this line before one slipped? A knock interrupted her thoughts. It was Marcus, her trusted VP, a gay man who had come out years ago and paid dearly for it. Divorce, custody battles. Boss, the board wants a meeting. They're spooked by the press. Ruby nodded, steeling herself. Inside she questioned. Am I fighting for love or ego? Marcus lingered. If it's about you and Eva, I've been there. It's not easy, but hiding eats you alive. The boardroom was a battlefield of suits and stern faces. Chairman Harlan, a silver-haired relic from old money, led the charge. Miss Thompson, your little stunt last night entertaining perhaps, but risky. We can't have scandals. Ruby met his gaze. Skandal. I revealed the truth. People mistook me for staff because of their biases. Harlan leaned forward. Biases or not, your orientation is a liability. Investors prefer stability. The word orientation dripped with disdain, igniting Ruby's fury. My personal life is off limits, she snapped. But Harlan pressed. Is it? Rumors about you and Ms. Martinez could alienate partners. The room murmured agreement. Ruby's heart sank. They knew. How? A leak, perhaps from a disgruntled employee. She defended. Eva is my architect, nothing more. The lie tasted bitter, echoing Eva's denial. Leaving the meeting, Ruby felt the weight of compromise. To protect the company, she'd deny herself. But at what cost? Her phone rang, her sister Claire, whom she hadn't spoken to in years. Ruby, Mom's upset about the news. She thinks you're flaunting your choices. Choices? As if love was optional. Tell her I'm living my truth, Ruby replied, hanging up. The call stirred memories. Family dinners where her father's homophobic jokes were just teasing, pushing her deeper into the closet. Eva returned that evening, tension etched on her face. The site's a mess, delays everywhere. But Ruby saw through it. Talk to me, Eva. About us. They sat on the couch, the city skyline mocking their turmoil. Eva sighed. I love you, but my family. If they find out, it'll break them. Dad's health is fragile. Ruby understood. Eva's father had a heart condition, exacerbated by stress. Coming out could literally kill him, or so Eva feared. But hiding is breaking me, Ruby confessed. Last night, pretending to be less. It reminded me why I left home. Eva reached for her hand. Then let's ease into it. No big announcements. Compromise again. Ruby agreed, but doubt gnawed. Is this love or a cage? Days blurred into a routine of stolen moments and public distance. At a charity event, they arrived separately, but eyes followed them. A reporter cornered Ruby. Any comment on your relationship status? She deflected, but inside resentment built. Why must we hide while straight couples flaunt? The breaking point came at a family dinner Eva insisted on attending alone. Ruby waited in the hotel, pacing. When Eva returned, tears streaming, the story spilled. Her mother had probed about that woman boss. Suspicions rising from the gala buzz. Eva denied again, but it cracked her. I can't keep lying, she sobbed. Ruby held her, whispering assurances, but her own heart ached. How many denials before love erodes? In the quiet hours, Ruby's inner turmoil peaked. She imagined a life out. Freedom but potential ruin. Lost deals, family estrangement amplified. Or stay hidden. Safety but soul-crushing. The choice loomed, a moral quandary with no clear right. Then betrayal struck. Marcus confided. I overheard Harlan plotting to oust you if you don't clean up your image. The board, fearing scandal, wanted her gone. Ruby's empire, her baby, threatened because of who she loved. Fury propelled her to action. She called Eva. We need to fight this together. But Eva hesitated. Fight how? By going public? I can't, Ruby. Not yet. The words felt like a knife. Was Eva choosing family over them? Ruby's mind raced. Am I worth it to her? The argument reignited, harsher this time. You're ashamed of me, Ruby accused. Eva fired back. No, I'm scared. For us, for everything. As they parted in anger, Ruby sat alone, questioning every decision. Had building this life been worth the isolation? The pressure mounted, society's expectations a vice grip. She needed to choose. Conform or rebel, knowing either could destroy. The days following the argument were a cold war, emails and texts replacing intimacy. Ruby threw herself into work, negotiating a major expansion in Chicago, but her focus wavered. Every meeting reminded her of the board's ultimatum, Harlan's smug face looming in her mind. She confided in no one, her isolation self-imposed, a shield against further hurt. Eva, meanwhile, buried herself in designs, sketching late into the night. Her inner thoughts tormented her. I love Ruby, but is love enough against the world? Her family's calls increased, her mother prying. That job keeping you single, Mija? Find a nice man. The pressure built, a dam ready to burst. A confrontation was inevitable. It happened at the hotel's rooftop bar. Under a starry sky that offered no comfort. Ruby arrived first, nursing a drink, when Eva appeared, looking weary. We can't go on like this, Ruby started. Eva nodded. I know. But going public. It's suicide for me. Ruby pressed. Hiding is suicide for our relationship. Choose Eva. The word choose hung heavy. Eva's eyes filled with tears. You or them. That's not fair. But life wasn't fair, Ruby thought bitterly. Their voices rose, drawing glances from patrons. I'm not ashamed, Eva insisted. But my culture, my faith, they see us as wrong. Moral conflict tore at her. Was loving Ruby a sin, or was denying it the greater evil? Ruby softened. I get it. My family disowned me years ago. It hurt, but I survived. Eva shook her head. Mine won't disown. They'll suffer in silence, blame themselves. I can't do that to them. The impasse deepened. each seeing the other's pain but trapped in their own. In a moment of desperation, Ruby suggested therapy, a neutral ground. Eva agreed reluctantly. The sessions were raw, the therapist probing deep. "What are you afraid of losing most?" she asked Eva. "My identity," Eva admitted. "As a daughter, a Catholic." For Ruby, "My authenticity. I fought too hard to hide again." Progress was slow but cracks formed. Eva began questioning her upbringing. Why did love threaten faith? Ruby confronted her ambition. Was the hotel worth her soul? But outside, pressures mounted. A leaked email from Harlan surfaced online. Thompson's personal life is a distraction. Time for change. Stocks dipped, investors fled. Ruby faced the board again, this time defiant. "Fire me if you must, but I won't apologize for who I am." Harlan smirked. "We don't need to fire you. Resign gracefully or we'll make it ugly." The threat: expose her relationship, drag Eva through the mud. Blackmail, pure and simple. Fury consumed Ruby. She stormed out, calling Eva. "They're coming for us." Eva panicked. "What do we do?" For the first time, unity sparked. They met that night, plotting. "Go public on our terms," Ruby urged. Eva wavered but nodded. "Okay. But carefully." The plan: a joint interview with a progressive outlet. But before they could act, betrayal hit closer. Eva's brother, suspecting, confronted her. "Is it true? About you and that woman?" Eva, cornered, confessed. His reaction: disgust, then a plea to fix it. He threatened to tell their parents. Eva returned to Ruby in tears. "He says he'll out us if I don't end it." The ultimate dilemma. Sacrifice love for family peace? Ruby's heart broke. Don't let him control you. But Eva's resolve cracked. Maybe he's right. Maybe this isn't meant to be. The words shattered Ruby. Alone that night, she spiraled. Have I pushed too far? Is forcing her to choose cruel? Moral ambiguity clouded everything. Was persistence strength or selfishness? Eva didn't come home. Instead, a text. "Need time. Staying with friends." Ruby's world tilted. She wandered the hotel halls, memories flashing. Their first kiss in an empty conference room, whispered promises. Now it all risked crumbling. The next day brought more blows. Protesters gathered outside. Conservative groups decrying her agenda. Signs read, "Family values over freaks." Society's ugliness on display. Ruby addressed the staff. "This is who I am. Stand with me or leave." Most stayed, but the drain was real. In her lowest moment, Ruby called her estranged mother. "Why can't you accept me?" The response: silence then. "We raised you better." The rejection fueled her fire. She wouldn't back down. Eva returned after 2 days, resolute. "I told my family everything." Shock rippled through Ruby. "And?" Eva's voice trembled. "They're devastated. Dad's in the hospital, stress attack." Guilt washed over her. Had her choice caused harm? The hospital visit was tense. Eva's mother glared at Ruby. "You did this." Ruby stood firm. "No, hiding did." But inside, doubt festered. Am I the villain here? As Eva sat by her father's bed, decisions loomed. The cost of truth was steep: health, relationships, careers. Yet, in the pain, awakening stirred. Eva whispered to Ruby, "I choose us. But at what price?" The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and regret, a stark contrast to the luxury Ruby commanded. Eva's father lay pale, monitors beeping rhythmically, as her family huddled around. Ruby waited outside, an outsider in the crisis she partly caused. Her mind raced. Was coming out worth this suffering? Moral quandaries plagued her. Freedom versus family, love versus legacy. Eva emerged, eyes red. "He's stable, but Mom blames you." Ruby nodded, expected. "I'll go if it helps." But Eva grabbed her arm. "No. Stay. This is our fight now." Solidarity finally, but tempered by loss. They returned to the hotel, the air heavy with unspoken fears. The interview went ahead, a calculated risk. Seated side by side on a sleek set, they faced the camera. "We're in love," Ruby declared, her voice steady. Eva added, "And we're done hiding." The piece aired, viral in hours. Support poured in: LGBTQ allies, progressive fans. But backlash was fierce. Boycotts threatened, sponsors pulled. Harlan seized the moment, calling an emergency board vote. This distraction ends now. Ruby fought back in the meeting, presenting data. Our brand is modern, inclusive. This boosts loyalty. But votes tallied against her. Ousted from her own company, the betrayal cut deep. Years of sweat, sacrifice for authenticity. Walking out, Ruby felt unmoored. Who was she without the empire? Eva held her. We'll build something new. But doubt lingered. Had she dragged Eva down too? Family fallout intensified. Eva's brother disowned her, her mother silent. They need time, Eva said, but her voice cracked. Ruby's sister reached out unexpectedly. I saw the interview. Improd, sis. A sliver of hope amid ruins. They relocated to a modest apartment in Brooklyn, a far cry from penthouses. Ruby freelance consulting, Eva took smaller projects. Simplicity bred intimacy, but hardships tested them. Bills piled, arguments flared over money. This is the price, Ruby admitted one night. Eva nodded. Worth it. Society's judgment followed. At a coffee shop, whispers. Aren't they the ones from the scandal? Eva shrank, but Ruby stood tall. Ignore them. Inside though, how long until it breaks us? A turning point came via an offer. A startup focused on LGBTQ-friendly hospitality. Ruby hesitated. Risk another empire? Eva encouraged. This is you. They dove in, building from scratch. Success trickled, validation sweet. But personal wounds festered. Eva's father's health declined. He refused to see her. Guilt consumed her. My choice hurt him. Therapy helped, but scars remained. Ruby questioned. Was outing ourselves selfish? Confrontations peaked at a family reunion. Eva crashed. Her mother confronted. You chose sin over us. Eva retorted. Love isn't sin. The exchange was raw, tears flowing. Her brother softened slightly. I miss you. Cracks in the wall. Ruby faced her own demons, visiting her parents. Her father grumbled. You embarrassed us. But her mother hugged her. We were wrong. Partial reconciliation, bittersweet. As their new venture grew, so did resilience. They married quietly, a defiant act. Vows exchanged. Through storms we stand. But success attracted old foes. Harlan sued for trade secrets. A petty revenge. The trial was grueling, exposing vulnerabilities. Witnesses twisted facts. Thompson's unstable. Ruby testified. My love doesn't diminish my skill. Eva supported from the gallery, their bond on display. Victory came, case dismissed. But exhaustion hit. Eva confessed. Sometimes I wonder if hiding was easier. Ruby's heart ached. Regret. Eva shook head. No. Just tired. In quiet moments they reflected on choices. Betrayals from bored family taught caution. Damages. Lost fortunes, strained ties. But awakenings. Self-acceptance, deeper love. One evening, walking hand in hand, a stranger smiled. You too inspire me. The affirmation healed a fraction. Yet questions lingered. Had they chosen right? Society evolved slowly, prejudices persisting. Their story became a beacon, but at personal cost. As highs and lows balanced, Ruby pondered. Was the fight worth the scars? The startup flourished, rebranding as Haven Hotels, safe spaces for all. Ruby and Eva co-led, their partnership a selling point. Investors flocked, drawn to authenticity. But success didn't erase past traumas. Eva's father passed months later, never reconciling. At the funeral, her family shunned her, a final wound. I should have waited, Eva whispered graveside. Ruby held her. You honored your truth. Guilt shadowed Eva, manifesting in nightmares. Therapy uncovered layers. Internalized homophobia from upbringing. I betrayed them, she confessed. Ruby countered. They betrayed you by not accepting. The dynamic shifted. Ruby the anchor, Eva the storm-tossed. Professional clashes arose. A major deal required schmoozing conservative clients. Ruby refused. No more masks. Eva argued. For the business? The old dilemma resurfaced. Compromise or stand firm? They chose integrity, losing the deal but gaining respect. Society's gaze intensified. A documentary featured them, probing deep. Regrets? The interviewer asked. Ruby. None. Eva. The pain, yes. But not the love. Airing brought fan mail and hate. Death threats arrived, forcing security. Fear crept in. Was visibility worth danger? A betrayal from within. An employee leaked private emails, twisting them into proof of favoritism. Media frenzy ensued. Nepotism and lesbian empire? Stocks wobbled. Ruby fired the culprit but damage done. Why us? Eva raged. Ruby. Because we're visible targets. In crisis, they leaned on community LGBTQ networks offering support. Allies rallied, boycotts reversed. Strength and solidarity, a lesson hard won. Personal growth peaked. Ruby reconnected with siblings, bridges mending slowly. Eva's mother called one day. I saw the doc. Miss you. Tentative steps toward healing. But mending wasn't linear. Arguments flared over future. Kids? Adoption loomed, but fears of judgment halted them. Society isn't ready, Eva said. Ruby. We'll make it ready. The push-pull defined them. High drama hit when Harlan resurfaced, backing a rival chain with anti-LGBT rhetoric. Traditional values, his ads boasted. Ruby countered with campaigns. Love is universal. The war was public, exhausting. Victory. Haven outperformed, public opinion shifting. But toll visible, gray hairs, weary eyes. In reflection, Ruby journaled, choices define us but prices scar. Eva read it, adding, worth every mark. Their story inspired change. Policies shifted, families evolved. Yet, personal costs lingered, lost time, broken bonds. As they stood on their new hotel's balcony, city alive below, peace settled. They had fought, lost, won. But the journey questioned everything. Was sacrificing family for personal truth ultimately the right choice, or a selfish act disguised as bravery?